All right, we're about to get into Nigeria versus Algeria. And again, I should have done this much earlier, but hey, better late than never. So right now, I'm joined by my good friend and long-time football apropos that we do together, Gbenga Subair. Gbenga, how are you doing, man?
I'm very well, very well. Happy Friday. Nice to see you. Doing okay.
Yeah. How you getting
Very
over
good.
tomorrow against Algeria?
Oh, wow. Another, maybe we'll get that legendary epic battle we had over 37 years ago. But I'm looking for an exciting match. Lots of fireworks. Um, Planning to get revenge that the 2019 semifinals when they got that last minute free kick. So it's going to be a big match for both countries.
Yep. And that's
Yes,
exactly why I think we should have this conversation because
sure.
there are a lot of people who just see Nigeria, Algeria. They don't understand
Nah,
how far back this thing goes. Like the very first time we met Algeria was as far way back in 1955, before any of us were even conceived.
but
I mean, I'm sure most people's parents are not even met at that time.
at that time.
So, but
Exactly.
here's the thing. What I
Sure.
need us to get into is that epic game in 19 at Maro 88. And
88,
the reason
yes.
why I say that is because there was such a lot of things. There's such a lot going on with that game. Such a lot to unpack that it'll
Very
be
true.
criminal for us, not to talk about that. And then we can get into all of the other things like how we won our first title in 1980 against Algeria at home
Nigerian,
in
yes.
Lagos, and then they also won their first title against us, and I think it was
It,
Anaba. Was it Anaba or
it was
yeah,
Algiers.
Algiers? Sorry,
Algiers,
yeah,
yes.
they
In
beat us one
Algiers
zero
90,
to win
yes.
their first title. So it was do me I do you, and that was exactly 10 years after we won our
After,
first one. And then we've
yes,
had all these goings on back and forth. But let's go back to 1988, Morocco 88. Now,
yes.
Afcon has had some epic games in the past. Nigeria has played epic games, so has Algeria. But I don't think anything, and I mean anything, compares to that Morocco 88 clash between Nigeria and Algeria. I believe it was in the semifinals of the tournament to get to. Yeah, it was the semifinals, yes,
It
because I
was
think we went to
semi-finals.
the final, we lost to Cameroon.
Cameroon,
Yeah.
yes.
And the reason I said that, you remember, is because the
Yes.
build up to that game was just as epic as the game itself. And for us to understand this, we have to go back like 3 months. In January of 1988, Nigeria played Olympic qualifier against Algeria. The first
Algeria.
leg, we lost 0-1
1-0 in Annaba,
in
actually.
Annaba. And then the
Yes.
second leg was in Enugu.
Enugu,
We won that
yes.
game 2-0. And if you remember, it was 1-0 until late in the game when they got an equalizer. And then it went to extra time, and then we scored and we won that game. And after the game, their star player at the time, don't forget they had
Legendary
Rabamaja
player,
in that team.
Rabamaja.
Oh my God, they had some really,
Yes.
really legendary players in that team.
Players.
Jamel Menard, Rabamaja,
Aki Medani,
Ujani. They had
Ujani. Yes. Dries,
Lagda Beloni himself,
Bellamy.
like
Yes.
Ben Halima. Like you just had so many great star names in that team, and
Yes.
they were playing at home and abroad. They had the one in Nancy, in Belgium,
Belgium.
Lyon, and I think Rabah Maja was playing for Porto. Yeah, Porto.
It was Porto at Portugal at that
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Yes.
So, and all of our players were home based. Odegbami, Chuku, Amisumaka, everybody in that 88 they were playing. No, well, I think by then those guys had left. Sorry, it was
They had left.
like of Yekini and Co that were just coming up into the team, Keshi and so on.
Yes.
So when we beat them in that first leg of that game, in the Olympic qualifier, and qualifier was still 88.
88.
Bellamy was mad, and he said, "Please tell Nigerians what he said."
Especially after that match, the tension leading up to that game in Enugu, Ademola Adesina and Harun Wosu were the scorers in that game.
Yep.
And I can remember how tense that match was in Enugu.
Oh,
the stadium was packed. Everybody came home. Every player, whether they were starting or coming off the bench, everybody was ready for Algeria. Never forgot that weekend. Then after that, Lagda Belumi, of course, one of the legendary players, still can't come to terms that Nigeria beating us. I remember too, that was
small
just
boy, just home base boy. you
this
pick a
whole
team
big boys.
of pros, you know.
I remember too. That was just 2 years after they were coming back from World Cup '86. The
Yes.
World Cup '86 in Mexico. So they were still a very solid season team. And he said, "Hey, Maroc '88. If we do meet, we'll prove to be who's the better team." Yes. And he really meant it. Like, no, we've got to solve this Nigerian crisis. How we lose it.
Exactly.
Yes.
I mean, like the way he said it, because they were
Yes.
so vexed when they lost that
Yes.
Bellomi still couldn't believe that they had lost to Nigeria. So, and his thing was, look, we are the better team. So
Yes.
he was saying that, okay, when we get to Maroc 88, if we meet at Maroc 88, then we'll know who the better team is.
The better team.
And he said that because at that time, the groups had been made and were in two separate halves of the draw. So they were in Group A, I think, who were in Group B.
They were in Group A, we were in Group B. They were in Casablanca.
Yeah, exactly.
We were in Rabat. Yes.
So at that point, nobody knew whether we were going to meet or not. No. But Bellomi said that if we meet at Maroc 88, then we'll know who the better team is. In other words, he was trying to tell us in not so many words is that we are the better team. So if we catch you people at Maroc 88, we will pepper you. You know? Because I think the point he was trying to make was that because it was home ground, so that's why we won 2-0. So when we meet on the neutral ground in North Africa, they were going to show us who is the Oga.
Who is the Oga? Exactly. So he made that statement, and he said it with intent. Like they were really looking forward to it. They had their team in place. And Lord and behold, you remember in the group stages, we played Kenya, Cameroon, and Egypt. So somehow, we the ancestors say, okay, you guys have to meet again. So this thing can be resolved once and for all. And the build up to that match, and when the match started, turned out to be one of the epic, most memorable matches of any African Nations Cup. Of course, we've had good games.
Oh my goodness!
But that game was just it signifies what you would ever want in a football match, and that's just what it was. From the very first minute to how we scored our goal, to how they equalized, the red card that Ademola Adesina got, and everything. That game was just fireworks from the very beginning. Algeria was determined to win that game, but not just win. Like there was this scope they had on Nigeria that
they were determined not to lose. Yes. And I think what made it worse was that we scored early. I think it was just before the first half. Was it Gbenga who took the corner kick?
It was a cross. He overlapped.
Yeah, it was a cross.
Yakini,
and then the ball came off the bat, and some of the Kwaraji quickly, took a shot. And the shot now wwent off of I think
Belgavi.
Belgavi, exactly.
Belgavi. Went in.
And then from that moment we led that game until it was almost like we were winning this game. And you know how when you're leading a game onto that, and then Ademola Adesina
got the red card.
Ademola Adesina got the red card. So I mean, we're leading, and not just Ademola got the red card. Brighton Mokaru 10-10 also got injured. So now we're playing one man down. Also, if I were playing almost 1.5 men down because Mokaru was almost like a non-factor.
Non-factor, exactly. Very, very true. He was on the left back and just trying to hold on, but he got injured. But he had to stay in the game because we pretty much had no more way to do any subs anymore. And Algeria equalized. I remember that goal. It was off a corner kick.
Yep.
And I think that Mata jumped our entire defense, headed the ball in, and I said, "Oh my goodness,
10 men."
What's going on? Especially also with our history with Algeria too. I just didn't. I was somewhere else. It was like traveling through time. Then when we won that game, it was back to eternity. That's how I felt that day. Yes.
In fact, you're going too far. Let us focus on the PKs first.
Okay, sure.
Because
yes.
Excuse me. So game ended. We go through everything else and blah blah blah.
Everything else. Extra time.
Still extra time. Still no goals. We held on. Luckily for us, with our 9.5 men, held on until extra time, and then penalties. I mean, this was where the legend of Peter Rufai was.
No, God, yes, God continued to bless his soul.
Peter Rufai was good, but this was the game. This was the game where the legend, the real legend. People look at 94 and so on. At 94, Peter Rufai was, almost, even though he was still good, he was but 88. This was
no,
where
that was fair. Yes,
this was where the legend was born. So
was born.
the saves that Rufai made in that game was enough to last a generation.
A generation and more.
And then we get into the penalty kicks. Like this was epic. So first
epic.
of all, I think we took the first PK. It was
Austin Gavon, who's
Austin
usually
took the first
assigned
penalty.
Yes.
Scored. Bellumi took the first one for them. They scored.
Yes.
And it was 10 because we already had somebody sent off. So it was like going to be 10-10. So
10-10.
The first round of kick, we missed 2. They missed 2. I think who missed for us? I think we had
I think it was Mike Odu and
Shofolua. Isa Shofolua, yes.
Yes.
Missed for us. And then Belgabi, who considered the own goal. It was just a bad day for him overall. He considered the own goal, and then he missed his PK. And then the great Rabamaja also missed his PK. So after 5 kicks, it was tied 3-3. 2 kicks. So we now into sudden death or more.
Sudden death. It was 5.
I was small, I was young, but my heart was beam.
You should have seen me. It's like I had no heart. Like my heart was empty. I was just standing on air. That's what this game would do to you. It was just.
It was insane.
Intense.
And so went in. Now the funny thing is, after that, everybody just scored. Everybody kept scoring. Shofolua, Yekini, because it was like that same order. So I think they kind of like went like so Shofolua, Yekini, Nwosu, Mokaru, Uchokafo. Then even Rufai took his kick and scored, and even their own keeper,
Nasa Edin
Dreed, exactly, he came in. He also scored. So it was they were now going to beginning again, because all 10 players had played their kicks, and we had to go back to the beginning. So Austin Gbenga stepped up. He was the first for us, stepped up and scored.
Yes,
then it was sort of Lagda. Stuck us through that because, man, I was so excited.
When after Gbenga stepped up to take the PK, then it was now Lagda Bellumi, who also too was their number 1 PK.
Yep.
And of course, based on that statement he had made in Enugu, that we'll see who was the better team. And here was he stepped up. Either we were going to go another round of PKs.
Yep.
And Rufai, God continued to bless his soul, stood right there. And when Bellumi took that PK, we saw like a bird, angel flying. He didn't even parry. He caught that ball like well saved.
Like it was not like a punch like he caught to tell Bellumi that look, you have talked your talk. Now this is Nigeria. Like Rufai caught the ball. Like it wasn't like punch it or this or miss. Rufai grabbed it, and like I said, that was where the legend of Rufai was born. Because that game was one of the most epic games in Nations Cup history ever. And look, I'm not sure there's anything to top it because everything leading up to the game, the SEAL 88 qualifier, Lagda Bellumi talking his talk, and then before the game, we had all of the handbags and things and going on. Even during the game, there was all manner of little things going on with the Algerians trying to do some gamesmanship. Nigeria saying no way, and man, whew.
Exactly, and also too, if you remember when Ademola Adesina got that red card, as he was walking off the field, one of the Algerian players pushed him to the floor.
Exactly.
Like get off the field.
Just get off the field.
So they were playing their usual antics and all that and everything, but we were just never going to be denied that day because, like you said, that rivalry started from 1980. Even though we had played them, I think all Africa games and everything, but 1980 was the beginning of that intense rivalry. That Nigeria. No, we got to start with. We've been to 2. I remember Algeria had been to the World Cup twice.
And we had failed to qualify for that 86 one that they went to just before that one.
So they just had this sort of like a superiority and all that. But our guys, it's just there was something different about this. Remember, also they were called Green Eagles. It was when they came back after that. Augustus Ikomo, who was the chief of general staff, named them Super Eagles. There was just something about that team.
Because then they were called the Green Eagles. It was when they came back after those performances, and then we went and lost in the final to that dodgy goal against Cameroon.
Cameroon, exactly. Which I'm still pissed off to today.
That's a story for another day. So exactly. It was after that they were christened, and this is a bit of history for all these gen whatever it is who don't understand. That was when they were now christened the Super Eagles going into 1990. So that's so a little bit of some history walk back.
History, exactly.
Folks.
But what was also too remarkable about that 88 team was the resilience, the character, the emotions. Because remember too, in Abidjan 84, remember in the three Afcons Peter Rufai played for us. Every semi-final match went into a shootout, which we won. 84 against Egypt, which was also epic, but nothing tops this match against Algeria.
Nothing.
And it was just like the resilience, the emotion, the caliber of players we had, the determination. Normally, long time ago, a star-studded team like Algeria would have been enough to overwhelm.
Yeah, before you even get on the field. Before you even get on the field.
That World Cup team and everything. But these guys held their ground. I could remember the celebration. In fact, Fry was so tired after that game that I think one official had to carry him on his back. Yeah. You remember that he couldn't move anymore. Wow. That he had left it all on the line for the country, for the team, everything that way. And we're forever grateful to him. God continue to bless his soul, blessings to his family. But he did something remarkable for an entire nation that day, and especially against our arch rivals. It wasn't against Comoros or Togo,
exactly.
Against our arch rivals, arch nemesis. And even I remember after that, the Algeria team, after that, a lot of them retired after that.
Yeah, true.
Yes, because when we played them in August 90, you still had like Rabamaja, Menad.
Yeah, but most of the rest of them had they retired. And I don't forget, in fact, I just remember, and I think it was that 1980 team. I think we played, no, it was 1990 when we played Cote d'Ivoire. It was 1990. When we played Cote d'Ivoire
in our last group match.
Yeah, in the last group match. Yeah, we beat them 1-0.
1-0. A very early goal from Rashidi Yekini.
Rashidi Yekini, yes. I remember, and that Cote d'Ivoire team was stacked. Like they had,
very stacked.
They had Omar Ben Salah. They had what's the guy that's their current coach, Francois Zahoui, who coached them recently. He was in that team.
Yes.
They had Alain Gomini. I mean, like that Cote d'Ivoire team was.
Serge Magui, who was their captain.
Serge Magui was also there. Yeah,
was there. Yes, they were very solid because that team carried over into 90 and 92.
True, exactly.
Yes, in Senegal.
And that Senegal, that was
exactly.
Amazing.
So
and people don't realize how good Omar Ben Salah was. Like Omar Ben Salah was one of the best players to ever come out of Africa. It's unfortunate that he never really had the time because of all the domestic violence issues that he had to actually play for a long time. But Omar Ben Salah was
very solid.
I mean, when people talk about Drogba and Yaya Toure, Omar Ben Salah was miles ahead of those.
Ahead of them, and also to Abdoulaye Traore, who was also part of that team too.
Yep.
And you remember too, that carried over into Dakar 92, which they won. Almost cost us a scare when we were getting ready to qualify for World Cup 94.
World Cup 94, yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh man. Anyway, I think those are things we'll come back to later because that 90, in fact, that 88 to 94 period, 98 to 93 period, was just an amazing. It was absolutely amazing time.
It was the beginning of also too, and also to that match against Algeria. After that win, even though it was very unfortunate we lost that bogus final to Cameroon, but also it was in the beginning and emergence of the team.
Yes, the team that we now call the class of 94. Actually started in that 88-90 because I remember, when we were going for the 1990 tournament, all the big boys were like, they were acting up, and then West Ham was like, you know what, go sit in one corner. And packed a group of young boys, like Daniel Mokachi, Andrew Ways, Thompson Oliha, Isaac Semitoje,
Habatani Joku.
Exactly.
Habatani Joku.
Exactly.
Wasil Baye was there.
Wasil Baye. Emma Okocha.
Emma Okocha, JJ's older brother.
The bigger brother of JJ Okocha. And that was the team he took to all just 90 because all the Guavon them and
Samson Siasia,
God bless it. So they were all being like big boys, and West Ham was like, you know what? Don't worry, don't come. No. I'll take my young one. And they went there, and the very first game they were hammered by Algeria 5-1.
5-1.
But They bounced back. And that's why I mentioned this Cote d'Ivoire team, because when you think about the fact that you had this group of young players who had never really played at this level before, and they come up against a team that had the likes of Omar Ben Salah, Abdoulaye Traore, Francois Zahoui, Alain Gomeni, and they beat them.
Yes. Yes, they did. They did. Because, yes. No, go ahead.
And then they got all the way to the final to meet Algeria again.
Exactly. But before that final, we played a very also interesting match with Zambia.
Zambia, exactly.
Zambia, and I think Uche scored off a header, off a corner kick, and Rashidi Yakini scored a very cracking goal in the second half.
Zambia team had what's his name, Chakabala.
Chakabala,
who was one of the players of the tournament. Webster Chakabala was immense.
A very good Zambian team, and very good team, and you're right. And that was pretty much where the emergence started. Where now Westerhoff said, you know what? You show up, you don't show up. I have my team now,
and that's why the big boys now started trying to come back to the team. So, but now they knew that Westerhoff could be dropped at any moment. So now there was discipline in the team, because everybody knew that, look, you can't misbehave, because if Westerhoff can drop people like Keshi and Siasia and Co, and then go with this young man and do so well at Afcon, at Nations Cup, then you can be dropped wherever you are at any time. So everybody sat up, and that was the beginning of that class of 94, that 90s golden generation.
Exactly. And the thing also to go back to Morocco 88 in that game was every match we played, apart from maybe Kenya, was all tough matches, from Cameroon against Egypt, against Algeria, and playing Cameroon again
in the final.
And those guys built just we had Manfred Horner, the German coach, and Paul Hamilton, who were the coaches in the team. And it was just a moment of like, wow, we could actually be at this level. And after missing out on CAN 86 in Egypt. Exactly. And to come up and just build a team. A lot came out from that tournament. That we saw the effects of what we saw in the class of 94.
That came exactly. So
and the consistency.
That 88 game laid the foundation for what was to come in the 90s. So
90s,
I think,
very true.
Yeah. So if we go back and we look at it, that 88 team, that Maro 88 team did a lot for Nigeria, because it was then that we started this whole process of Nigeria becoming Nigeria. Because after One Nations Cup in 80, let's not forget, One Nations Cup in 80, by 82, we couldn't even get out of the first round. We lost in a good fit. Because by then, I mean, for some reason, the federation felt, you had to go and start calling back players who had retired to come and play, and so on and so forth. And you couldn't get mixed to the World Cup, and so on. And so things just kind of, because I think after we won, typical Nigeria, we won, and everybody felt, we're top of the world. Instead of refreshing the squad, we're not trying to bring back old players to live on past glory. It didn't work out well. So 82, we barely made it out. 84, I think we didn't even qualify for 84. No, it was 86 that we did not qualify.
86 we didn't qualify, yes.
Yeah,
it was a very bad period.
Yes. Very, very bad. So 88 was the beginning of a rebuild. We had these new players coming in. Most of the old guard had gone, and then we had that whole thing with Algeria, and then from then everything just started going up. So that game, seminal period in Nigerian football history.
A history, exactly. And also too, as a national team, there's always one match that defines a moment. You've a country gets to play other countries, but there's always like Germany, Argentina, England. There's always one match that just defines
the history of that country. And I think for us, that game against Algeria in 88 was a definite seminal period in our football history. But anyway, thank you very much, Gbenga. I think it's been great having this conversation.
Anytime.
I mean, the thing that when you and I start talking, going back memory lane and talking Nigeria football, we just don't seem to stop. So let's stop for here. Maybe we'll do another one again.
I like that. To be continued.
To be continued, right? You get right.
To be continued. Yeah, and I have a lot to say about Cameroon, but I'll leave that for another time.
We'll keep
the listeners waiting on this. I have a lot to say about Cameroon.
Thanks a lot, man. Talk to you
anytime.
soon.
Thank you for having me. Great pleasure.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.